right now I will introduce the first guest of the day. As a journalist, I had the pleasure to write about some of his achievements. He's a writer, he's a keynote speaker, he's an MC. Maybe you know him as the founder of Borderless Ventures, which he runs the emerging tech investment syndicate focusing primarily on Web3, AI. Maybe you know him from NFT Factory Paris. He's a co-founder there. Maybe you know him as a partner, as a colleague, as a friend. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the stage Ethan Pierse.
Alrighty. Good morning. So I tried to go light on the coffee so that I don't even speak faster than I already do. So I'll try, and because who here actually is not from Romania? Oh, okay. Very good. I figured I had mostly a Romanian audience, and which I love. I love getting to come to ecosystems and meet new people like this. So. Well, let's just dive right in and have a chat about a bunch of stuff around how Web3 is being used by brands for their marketing and their engagement, and how that's going to scale as we move into the future. And so feel free to connect with me on any of these things, primarily Twitter and LinkedIn, but any of that kind of stuff works. Borderless Ventures and investments into Web3 and AI, based in Singapore and Tevin, and the NFT Factory, which is based in Paris, now starting to grow kind of elsewhere. It's the Web3 kind of headquarters for everything going on in France and Western Europe, and also just all the cool stuff going on in fine digital art. And I don't really talk much about finance, but there's a little bit of stuff in here. So I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal or financial advice. So the NFT Factory was founded by Ledger, Sorare, Sandbox, a whole bunch of really cool things that are French. There's 120 of us that built this thing, and it's now kind of going on the road to start creating really cool pop-up galleries and other ecosystem things around Europe. So maybe you've met me at that if you've been to some stuff in Paris. But most of you here probably already know a lot about this. This is specifically an NFT conference, so you probably understand some of these concepts already. But why do we talk about Web3? And the reason that I'm going to frame it this way, because this is a brand conversation, is because the real value point for a lot of brands is community when it comes to Web3. The whole stack of technology that we're working with, whether it's NFTs, whether it's DAOs, all the different things around the meme coin type stuff, all this cool thing, it's a way for people to be able to build community, whether they are a content creator on YouTube with their audience, whether they are Louis Vuitton and their audience. It doesn't matter. It's a way to establish a more direct connection with the people who follow that brand. And you already know this, but the important thing about non-fungible is just that it means unique. By having this thing that only exists once out there as a digital asset, it lets us build all this value into it to do all kinds of cool things around digital art, digital collectibles. We've got intellectual property, all kinds of cool stuff that we'll look at. It all starts with the foundation of digital identity. We'll look at a little bit of what that then means with your degrees, your credentials, digital twinning of all kinds of physical products, fashion, luxury, rewards, loyalty, events and ticketing, gaming, music. Way too much for me to do in 20 minutes, so some of the slides I will fly by. If you do want a copy of these, you can send me a message on any of the social networks, and I will get back to you with a copy of them if you like some of the examples. Because some of the slides, literally, I'm just going to show you and move to the next one because they're just examples. So we all love our dear PFPs. My favorite's my God Hates NFT, little guy up there at the top. But, a lot of people don't get this. This is not the discussion we're having, but digital collectibles matter in the same way that regular physical collectibles matter. Comic books, Magic the Gathering cards, sports cards, all of those things are billion-dollar industries individually. Why would the digital version of that not also be significant, just if all we did was duplicate the physical version? But if we add in all the value out of community, it starts to get really interesting. Meme coins, there's one that we're doing right now in France called Manuel Macaron. And so Manuel is like the Bowden or the Trimp or the Putney meme coins, if you've seen any of those. There's a big trend in political meme coins right now. So this is Dear Manuel. We're going to come out with coming soon is Baguette. macaron, the cookie, and deodorant, if you've ever been to France. Those will all be meme coins coming your way. And so, you got me, brother. So there's fine digital art, all kinds of beautiful things that people want to collect because it's made purely digital or brought to digital. A friend of mine, Hugo, who's a fantastic young photographer in Finland who films these beautiful things. And so it creates an opportunity for him to be a professional photographer to the whole world by leveraging the community of Web3. And why does that work? Because NFTs, as unique things, give us two very interesting opportunities to have proof of authenticity and proof of ownership. And whatever you are looking at that you want to purchase or that you want to trade or that when you have that Magic the Gathering card, that Mark Rothko painting that you want to buy or whatever that thing happens to be, the Louis Vuitton bag or the tickets to the next Taylor Swift concert, you want to know that they're real and you want to know that the person you're buying them from owns them and that now you do. And that's what NFTs bring to all of these brand conversations. And it all starts with digital identity. First, we had phone numbers. Most of you are at the age here where I'm sometimes I get the Gen Z, Gen Alpha conversation where they're like, really, you had home phones? But we had those home phones, then we had email addresses, then we have mobile phones. And today, depending on your demographic, you use either your email address or your phone number or both to identify yourself when I checked into my hotel last night, whenever I do anything I do. So those are already kind of digital wallets. They're just not really wallets, but they're the thing that connects you to everything. Well, our next new unique identifier is going to be your digital wallet address or addresses, depending on how all that works out for us in our lovely multi-chain world. This idea that you're going to have a wallet that is the same thing as what you have in your pocket, it's got the same stuff in it, it's just digital. And so you pull that thing out and you've got photos of the family, so you've got your collectibles, you've got money, you've got payment cards, you've got rewards and loyalty, the card for the salad restaurant you go to every week that you get a free one every time you get 10. You've got all that stuff in your wallet. You've got your driver's license for identity. You've got other things in there. Well, now it's all going to come to your digital wallet. All of it is. So you use all these other tools, whether it's Gmail or Twitter or Facebook, whatever, to sign in to other websites and apps now. Well, the same thing's going to be true. We're going to come to a point, we already are there with some of these tools, where you sign into platforms using your wallet instead of your email address. That's true, obviously, if we're trading NFTs or we're doing something crypto-y. But it's also going to become true because now you can sign into Spotify with your digital wallet and have private playlists, or soon, digital passports for streaming singles. All kinds of cool stuff that's going to happen where you connect to the other stuff with your digital wallet. And so the idea there is your driver's license, your car registration, property title to your apartment, your house, your academic degrees. All these things are coming with NFTs because they're a digital version of a real thing that has proof of authenticity and proof of ownership. It's real and it's yours. If you're not sure about degrees, this is already in process, but here's the example. Harvard University, according to LinkedIn, has 751,000 alumni on LinkedIn. According to the Harvard University Factbook, they've only issued 369,000 degrees since 1642. Somebody's lying out their ass. And because a lot of people have 2 degrees because they get their bachelor's and their master's from Harvard. So we have a big problem with fake degrees already, whether it's your continuing education just to learn something new or something like your MBA from a prestigious university. And it's very hard to validate these things, but very soon you're going to sign into LinkedIn also with your wallet, and it's going to find a soul-bound NFT in there of your degree, and it's going to say, do you want to add this to your education? You're going to say yes. And it doesn't have to ask anybody, but now it's going to be able to put a little symbol next to this in your profile that says, this person really has this degree. Because all kinds of people working out there in the world don't have the degrees they said they did whenever they got that job. And this is going one more way of all these little things, how this goes there. But it matters because each of these things start to be one more reason to have a digital wallet. Right now, it's just because we want to have our monkey JPEGs, or we want to have a cow, or want to have some meme coins, or some crypto, or whatever. But that's one of the things. But now we're going to start adding in, oh, I also have this in my wallet, and I also have this in my wallet. It's going to get us special early access to content, discount codes for events or things like coming to an event like this, special merchandise, VIP access, all the things that we can kind of wrap around that through token gating. So token gating, again, most of you probably understand this. Who here has an NFT in their wallet? Who has a wallet with NFTs in it? Okay, so that's pretty much the crowd. That's what I expect. So you understand this pretty well, but just the simple fact that we can bring you value because we have a specific NFT in our wallet. But where this also is going to get really cool is, fine, you have the NFT to this conference, and that gets you in the door. But the NFT to this conference will also get you a discount to non-fungible conference in Lisbon or NFT Biarritz in France. Because you can also leverage other people's NFTs to provide value to people. So the fact that you've got a wallet full of this stuff is going to get really interesting to bring value to people through what they collect. What does that mean for brands? Well, Will Intrican, who's one of the lead authors of the NFT specification, says the whole purpose of NFTs is to increase sales of things people already want to buy. That's pretty powerful if you're a brand or a creator of any type of content. That the whole point of this thing is to encourage people to do more of what they already want to do, which is give you money as a fan of your content, as somebody who loves your products, whatever that happens to be. So this is already out there. Shopify token gates e-commerce stores now if you want to. So that basically, anybody here could create a Shopify store right now and token gate it with the NFT to this conference and give people access to special merch, a discount on those products, or whatever you want to, all the things that you want to offer people as you either can or can't buy it unless you have the NFT, or you get a discount, or whatever that is. But the point is you can target, obviously, your NFTs, but you can actually use any NFTs to token gate things. And this creates a really interesting thing for brands. Like I can walk into, I love my New Balance, I can walk into the New Balance store and say, hi, here's my QR code, I have way too many of your shoes, give me a discount. And they're like, sure. But I can go next door to the Nike store and go, I don't have any of your shoes, but here's my QR code for my wallet. And they're going to go, well, you know what, let's give you 10% because we see you have a lot of New Balance NFTs. So you don't just target your own, you can also leverage this for all kinds of things. And that's a really interesting thing for brands to be able to work around what people express publicly, basically through their wallet, as their interests. One of the first places is just being able to twin the physical stuff that we own. So the last 3 years, Breitling watches, if you buy one, comes with an NFT, twin of that watch, that gets you connect to the website with it, so you can do like your service, it proves the authenticity, and the ownership of that thing. But here's what's really interesting. If you walk into a Breitling store and try and sell this watch without the NFT, guess how much your watch is worth? It's worth nothing. Now, of course, you can walk into some other store and they'll buy it from you, but eventually, because there are now 8 other large watch manufacturers that have put in place this exact same technology, and eventually all of that happens, so you can't sell a watch in a regular, normal store. You can always sell it on the black market, but you can't sell a stolen piece of this for real value unless you have the NFT that goes with it. And that dramatically changes an entire market of how this stuff works. So brands love that idea of being able to bring that extra value to the people that love their products. So tons of examples: Moncler, Prada, Louis Vuitton. So Tiffany, that if you happen to have a CryptoPunk and wanted to drop another 5-10 grand on a pendant that goes with your CryptoPunk, this is a whole new thing for them. It's a new class of a certain amount of people who have capital that didn't have it before, that are very attached to this idea, and they want a physical representation of it. So digital twins can be funny. They can actually also go the other way. They can be digital and become physical. But in both ways, you're tying these connections to each other. And I thought this was kind of cool. You've also got the one with the I don't have it here, actually, the pendant for the Bored Apes for the other side little guy, the Coda. I thought that was cool until 2 people came up to me after one of my keynotes in the fall last year and was like, oh, see, I have it. And like, see, this actually is real. People actually do have this stuff. So skip some of the examples, but even things like this. I live in Paris, and I can go to the store next to my apartment and scan the QR code on this salmon or on this bottle of olive oil, and it will tell me where that olive grew, when it was processed, the lab that it went through for testing, when it was bottled, when it was tested again, all those things. And all of this, it's not an NFT, but it could be, but this is just blockchain. But it gives us something that's true, that can't be modified because of the technology of the blockchain. So we have trust in this information that we didn't have before. And brands love the idea of being able to provide more information, more value to their customers in order to give them more brand connection based on stuff where we can prove that it's true. Even things like wine. Intercellar, which is a platform based in Bordeaux, 60 to 80% of high-end French wine sold in China is fake. Same label, same everything. What they're doing basically is, if they NFT and sell your bottles as an investment, that bottle will cost 2 to 10 times as much in China or wherever because it has the NFT than the bottle that looks just like it next to it, because you'll be able to say, this one's not a piece of shit. This one isn't vinegar in a bottle. This one's actually something you want to drink because it's real and has the value. So this is stuff that's dramatically changing how things can be looked at for brand. I'm not going to look at all these examples, but we understand that digital collectibles from all these different brands can create really interesting communities, like Nike with their swoosh and all these other kind of stuffs, where they build a community around the people who love their brand. There's another thing about wine where you can basically become a member of this chateau and have special access because you have their NFT. It's all about community. Well, where do we get community a lot in brands? Rewards and loyalty. So Starbucks has shut down their program, but it's still really interesting to see what they did with this beta. Basically, instead of always spending money to earn rewards points at Starbucks, you went on these little journeys to get a journey stamp. The journey stamp was an NFT. And if we look at these things here, only 1 or 2 of the 5 tasks it took to get a journey stamp were about spending money in the store. The others were watching a video about sustainable coffee production or taking a quiz about something, things that create an actual brand connectivity between your audience and your brand. That's fascinating because it's not just about, okay, I bought 10 of that thing, now I get a free one. This is really cool for how brands can start to leverage other rewards and loyalty programs. Air Baltic, you can buy a Planey, and this is their rewards thing. Next week, I'm going to Riga for Air Baltic. They have a day where some of us that have Planeys are going to get to go into the hangar where they teach, like I'm going to get to jump on the little like toboggan like thing out of the plane, like for the security. I'm going to get to the cockpit and the training module and all that stuff because I own a freaking NFT for their thing. But I have 4 of these, and each one gets me 10 XP a day just because I own them, not because I take flights. And every 10 flights I take on their airline, I get a free business class upgrade voucher that I can either use or share. I have 4 NFTs, so every 10 flights I get 4 business class vouchers. There's some really cool stuff that they're trying to play with here, and you also see it with Etihad, you see it with Lufthansa, and others that are figuring out ways to use these technologies for their community to build value that is not just around buying things, but that's also gamified. Because with Lufthansa, it's cities, and with Joker, Partouche is a big casino group based in France and Western Europe. There's 52 of these things, but you can only get some of them in certain casinos. So people are actually going to the casinos to get the NFTs when they wouldn't normally have wanted to go to that other country or thing. Same thing with Lufthansa basically saying, hey, it's Oktoberfest. You need to go there because it's the only place you can claim this limited edition version of the NFT. So people are doing it. That kind of stuff is going to get really interesting for gamifying rewards and loyalty, and it's not just about spending money. So, and then Salesforce has integrated wallet relationship management into their platform. So this is the thing you use to track your customers and manage all the relationships that you have with them, all the conversations, all the ways that you're marketed to or sold to, the biggest platform in the world, and now they've integrated that you can also do that with wallets. Well, we're not going to go too much into this, but basically everything in a video game is a digital asset. It's just locked inside of a database. Well, as soon as they become tokenized digital assets, you're going to see a whole bunch of 12-year-old millionaires who spend all day playing Fortnite and selling their crap to people legally because they can. I've got a whole bunch of Pokemon Go in my pocket that's going to make me a fortune one day when that thing finally breaks its walls down because it's worth something. It's rare, but I can't monetize it. I've spent time on it. I'm not a professional, but there's value in the rarity of some of those things as collectibles. So we're going to see a massive place here for adoption because when we look at Clash of Clans, which is like Supercell, that's a $16 billion market cap company, and all they do is offer free games that you pay extra to buy crap in to play with. Imagine if all the stuff you earn or find or whatever in those games now becomes tradable, sellable, monetizable in a legal way. This will onboard a crazy amount of people into the space. And the video game metaverse conversations are very related, but I'm not going to go into that too much here. The point is that creates a huge branding opportunity for companies to be present either in video games or metaverses if it fits the demographic. So Louis Vuitton inside of Roblox, I'm not really sure that people who buy, 50-year-olds who buy expensive luggage are going to be playing Minecraft or Roblox. So maybe that's not a good match, but that doesn't mean there aren't good matches for brands. NFT ticketing, and then I'm almost done here. The idea that for Ed Sheeran, the tickets to this concert series were $60 or $80 each to buy. They sold on the market for $300 to $600, and he didn't see any of that money, and you had to pay it to get the ticket because 70% of the tickets to these concerts are bought by bots and resold afterwards. If you NFT those, you break the whole system because the NFT either can't be resold, you don't want that, so let's resell it, but let's cap the price at which you can resell it. Or we can sell it for 10 or 20% more, but the 10 or 20% goes back to Ed. And he did this in London and Paris, but you didn't know it because it was just a QR code in the Ed Sheeran app. You didn't know you had a wallet, but you did. Music, last one here. This already works on Spotify, private playlists, but here's what's going to happen. We're not going back to streaming, or to purchasing music, and those of you that are young enough in the room are like, you can purchase music? Because that was a while ago. But streaming won, but streaming sucks for making money. It doesn't pay. Even if you're a big star, for the amount of views or streams you're getting, it doesn't really pay. So here's how this is going to work. Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift launches an NFT for a digital music pass. For $5, you're going to buy their next single. You're not going to buy the single. You're going to be able to stream it 2 weeks before everybody else. But that NFT, because you connect to Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, YouTube with your wallet, is also going to give you access to a couple other versions, a live version, a special video. It's going to give you first-in-line tickets to the next concert so that instead of being a Taylor Swift Swiftie fan and getting behind all the bots and not getting tickets, you'll be the first one to buy tickets because the only way to get to the tickets is to own the NFT first. All of that because you bought this thing for $5. This will make a fortune for those people, but what it will do also is the bands you love that are local, that have got 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 fans, they can make a career again out of selling their music because this is going to create that opportunity for them. And this is real. It's happening right now. All about building community and connecting with your customers and fans. Let's see here. Get to the last example because I'm over time. Budweiser sold these things for $800, and they sold out instantly. And basically, owning one of them got you access to a private conference at a brewery, a private concert at a brewery in Philadelphia. And then they sold them again and sold out again. They're pictures of beer cans, but people want them, so they collect them. People collect everything. People connect to everything. It doesn't matter if you do. It just matters that there's enough people that do. And so for brands, this is a fantastic way to connect to the people that are rabid about their brand. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to skip past the metaverse concept. Just the fact that, like Balenciaga in Fortnite, the hoodie exists real and digital. That's pretty cool. That's a fashion, high-end brand or a streetwear brand that's demographically fits this place. I'm going to get rid of that. And the last thing I'm going to say here is, well, this fits this room, but a lot of times I'm giving this conversation to a room full of 50, 60-year-old marketing executives, and they're going, what the hell is that? And what I tell them is, it's not about you, it's not about me. This is a Gen Z and a Gen Alpha conversation. And just for definition, Gen Z is everybody that was born to the internet, 1996 and after. And Gen Alpha is everybody born to smartphones, 2008 and after. And the 2008 people are how old right now? Now they're 16. They're spending money. These are customers. These are potential opportunities. And they understand this natively. They want digital things. They don't want physical things necessarily, so they want digital collectibles over physical things. They want all this stuff that may be the same reasons, but they don't necessarily want a physical version of it. And so this becomes a massive conversation for brands because for Gen Z and Gen Alpha, this is where they live. And this is how they're interested in interacting with their brands. And that's it. We're not going to talk about Gen AI. It was the last bit of this conversation, but it's not important to this one. And, well, maybe just one fun one, just in case you don't know this. Both of these have millions of followers in Korea on Instagram. You know what's interesting about both of them? It doesn't show well because of the photos there, because of the way the slide looks. Maybe this one shows a little better. Is that they're not real. They're just AI. So it's somebody building a million person following for fashion or anything else on Insta. For someone, this guy on the right, like every day he's wearing a different outfit. He doesn't exist. That's pretty cool. for brands in seeing all this stuff. My name is Ethan Pierce. It was lovely to get to hang out with you a little bit. If you have questions, feel free to connect with me. I'm here today and tomorrow. Love to chat with you here as well. And a huge round of applause. Fantastic MC with Adrian, but Indy and Octave are two of the most wonderful human beings on the planet. And I am just so thrilled that they asked me to come spend some time with you. Please give them a huge round of applause, and I'll see you soon.